not seen in a century, and overall rates of flooding and rain exceed records set in the 1940s and 80s. 100,000 homes have been badly damaged or collapsed entirely since late July. The UN has warned that the situation is expected to get worse over the coming weeks, as above-average rains are forecast until the end of September.
Our power-operated equipment is out of order, and there's a high possibility they won't operate again. Needless to say, residents are all gripped with fear and panic. We have not slept for days.
Flies and mosquitoes are multiplying in huge numbers. Cholera may break out at any moment, God forbid. That's why we've planned an insecticide spraying campaign.
Hippa Morgan has this update from Khartoum.
The river that you see behind me is the Nile River, which Sudanese government officials say is unprecedented in terms of the level of waters it is carrying right now. At 17.61 meters, meteorologists say it's the highest that have been recorded in nearly a century, and that has resulted in massive floodings in various parts of the country. Now, one of those areas is right here in this island of Tuti, which lies between the Blue Nile and the White Nile. The flooding from the Nile waters has resulted in massive destructions of properties. Many people have been forced to leave their homes to look for refuge and shelter and for drier lands.
Most
of the destruction isn't just because the river flooded. We have an annual phenomenon where the water in the river increases during the rainy season. The river manages to break the makeshift dams that we build. This is what caused the most destruction, but this year is the worst we've ever seen.
Now, countrywide, at least 100,000 properties have been destroyed and at least 100 people have been killed as a result of the floodings. Meteorologists say that the reasons behind the high level of the Nile rivers are due to two factors. They say one of them is climate change. Heavier rainfalls on the Ethiopian highlands has resulted in more water flowing downstream towards Sudan, which has resulted in more flooding along the banks of the Blue Nile, which contributes to 80% of the Nile waters. The other factor, they say, is the number of dams that have been built along the Nile over the past few decades. They say that has led into more water being trapped in the clouds and into more rainfall as a result. So Sudan's government has declared a state of emergency after the loss of lives and the destruction of properties. They're calling on aid organizations to intervene, but they're also saying that the water levels will continue to rise over the next few days and are urging people to stay away from the banks of the Nile and try to build as much sand barriers like they've been doing over the past few days to cope with the rise of the Nile levels. They've also said that if people do not listen to the cautious and to the alerts that are being issued by the government, there will be more destructions and more loss of lives, something that they're trying to avoid.